Imagine holding a simple-looking French 1 franc coin in your hand. At first glance, it may seem like just an ordinary piece of change from decades past. But what if I told you that this very coin, depending on its year, minting errors, or specific rarity, could be worth not just hundreds or thousands, but in some cases, even millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. A coin that many people once used for everyday purchases of bread or milk has now turned into a hidden treasure for collectors worldwide. The design of this coin is what makes it instantly recognizable and deeply admired. It features the famous Semeuse, also known as the sower, a graceful female figure spreading seeds into the field. She represents hope, prosperity, and the forward movement of France. This artwork wasn't just chosen at random, it became a national symbol of progress and was celebrated for its beauty and meaning. Every time you look at this coin, you're not just seeing money, you're witnessing a piece of France's cultural and artistic heritage. But here's the incredible part. Certain rare strikes, unusual mint marks, and specific years of this 1 franc Semeuse coin have skyrocketed in value. Collectors pay unbelievable sums at auctions, and the right variation in your collection could be worth a fortune. That's why today, we're going to dive deep into the history, the design, and most importantly, the rare versions of this coin that can transform an ordinary find into a life-changing discovery. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this small, silver-toned coin with the elegant Semeuse design is considered one of the most fascinating treasures in the world of numismatics. The 1914 1 franc coin from the Castel Saracen mint is one of the most valuable pieces of the Semeuse series and a true rarity in the world of French coins, unlike the millions of other 1 franc coins produced during the early 20th century. This special issue had a remarkably low mintage of only around 43,000 pieces, making it extremely scarce. Because of this limited production, collectors around the world prize it as one of the hardest coins to find. While a circulated example may already fetch a few $100s, a well-preserved or uncirculated piece can easily reach several thousand. In fact, some have been known to sell in the range of $5,000 to $10,000, depending on their condition and market demand. Beyond its rarity, this coin also carries historical importance, as it was struck in 1914, the very year the First World War began, a period when minting operations were disrupted and resources were stretched thin. This connection to history adds even more value and desirability. The 1917 issue is highly collectible because it was minted during the middle of the First World War, a time when minting activities were reduced, and many coins were melted down or lost in circulation. Surviving examples in high grade are very rare, makes them extremely valuable today. In average circulated condition, they may be worth only a few $100s. But if you find a 1917 in excellent uncirculated or proof-like condition, it can easily sell in the thousands of dollars, with some estimates reaching $3,000 to $6,000, depending on grade and rarity of the strike. This coin not only stands out for its financial value, but also for its historical context. Being produced in the middle of the Great War gives it deep symbolic meaning, and collectors treasure it as part of France's numismatic heritage. The 1918 1 franc coin carries special importance as it was struck during the final year of the First World War. Its connection to this historic moment adds a layer of significance, and when found in uncirculated or near perfect condition, it can be valued in the thousands of dollars, often ranging between $2,000 and $5,000 depending on its grade. Similarly, the 1920 1 franc coin is another scarce date that has gained strong demand in the numismatic market. This coin was minted just after the war, during a period when economies were struggling and resources were still limited. The result was lower survival rates, and pristine examples are now very difficult to obtain. Collectors are willing to pay several $1,000s for a top-quality 1920 piece, with estimates often falling in the $3,000 to $6,000 range for exceptional, uncirculated coins. Together, the 1918 and 1920 Semeuse 1 franc coins demonstrate how this series is deeply tied to history and rarity. Coins from these years are not just metal, they are symbols of a country recovering from war, and today, they stand as valuable treasures worth thousands of dollars. Now we will talk about the 1960 1 franc coin, which has become one of the most talked about pieces among collectors of the French Semeuse series. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary coin used in daily transactions, but under the surface, it carries certain traits that make it stand out from the rest. Some collectors value this coin as high as $15,000, and the reason lies in its rarity and unusual characteristics. The most well-known feature of the 1961 franc is its small zero and large zero varieties. These varieties occurred because of differences in the dies used at the mint. While it might seem like a small detail, the size and shape of the zero and the date can completely change a coin's rarity and value. The small zero version is especially hard to find in high grades, making it much more valuable to collectors who are eager to own every variety. Another reason for the coin's high worth comes from minting errors. Coins with striking mistakes, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or misaligned details, are highly prized in the numismatic world. These errors are not common, and when they appear on a coin as popular as the 1961 franc, the value can jump dramatically. Condition also plays a huge role in determining how valuable this coin can be. A circulated example might only be worth a few dollars, but a perfectly preserved coin in uncirculated or proof-like quality is a completely different story. Coins that show no wear, retain their original luster, and are graded by professionals can sell for astonishing amounts at auction. That is why some 1961 franc coins have been estimated or claimed to be worth as much as $15,000, price only possible when extreme rarity combines with flawless preservation. For numismatists and collectors, the 1961 franc coin represents more than just money. It's a piece of history, carrying the iconic Semeuse, design that symbolizes growth and prosperity for France. Owning a rare variety or an error coin from this year is like holding a hidden treasure that few people know exists. It is coins like these that prove how something that once circulated in everyday life can, decades later, become a collector's dream worth thousands of dollars. The year 1961 also gave us one of the most valuable Semeuse en franc coin, a piece that can reach astonishing prices when rare varieties or minting errors are involved. At first, the 1961 issue may look like a common modern coin, but collectors know that this date hides some rare surprises. Certain versions of the 1961 franc have been valued at up to $7,000, especially those struck with unusual mint errors or preserved in flawless mint state condition. One reason this coin can be so valuable is because of the die varieties and striking mistakes that occurred during production. Errors such as misaligned strikes, double details, or off-center impressions instantly turn an ordinary 1961 piece into a rare collector's prize. On top of that, if the coin happens to be in proof-like or brilliant uncirculated quality, free from scratches and wear, it becomes even more desirable, pushing its value far higher than regular examples. What makes the 1961 issue particularly interesting is that it represents a transition period in French coinage. The Semeuse design was still a powerful national symbol, yet coin production was modernizing. This combination of history, artistry, and era rarity makes the 1961 franc coin a standout from the decade, with certain examples commanding prices of $7,000 and above in the numismatic market. Moving forward, two other highly valuable years in the Semeuse franc series are 1965 and 1969. These coins may seem modern and ordinary at first sight, but just like the 1961 issue, they hide rare varieties and minting errors that make them worth far more than their face value. In fact, depending on condition and rarity, both the 1965 and 1969 franc coins have been known to sell for thousands of dollars. The 1965 franc coin is particularly prized for examples that show striking mistakes or unusual die variations. Collectors pay strong premiums for coins with off-center strikes, double impressions, or proof-like surfaces that set them apart from normal circulation pieces. In pristine uncirculated or mint state condition, the 1965 issue can easily reach values of $5,000 or more, especially when authenticated and graded by professionals. The 1969 franc coin is another surprising rarity. While millions were struck, only a handful survive in top uncirculated grades with rare errors, making these highly collectible. Some examples feature misaligned dies or doubling effects that instantly increase their value. When found in perfect mint state with such features, the 1969 issue can command prices of $6,000 to $8,000, turning what looks like an ordinary late 1960s coin into a true collector's treasure. Together, the 1965 and 1969 Semeuse coins prove that even in the modern era of French coinage, hidden rarities exist that can transform small pieces of change into valuable items worth thousands of dollars. And there you have it, the story of some of the most rare and valuable franc Semeuse coins ever struck. From the early treasures of 1914, 1917, 1918, and 1920, all the way to the surprising rarities of the 1960s like 1961, 1965, and 1969, each of these coins proves that what may seem like ordinary pocket change can sometimes hide extraordinary value. Some of these coins have sold for thousands, and in rare cases, even tens of thousands of dollars, turning them into true collector's gems. So the next time you come across an old French 1 franc coin, don't ignore it, take a closer look. You might just be holding a hidden treasure worth far more than its face value. Coins like these remind us that history, rarity, and a little bit of luck can transform something small into something priceless. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories of rare and valuable coins from around the world. Who knows? The next coin we explore might just be sitting in your collection,